My name is Cristobal Alban. I'm the commercial counselor of Ecuador in Turkey. It's a great pleasure addressing you in the framework of Seafood Expo Asia 2024. I will be very pleased to analyze together Ecuador's aquaculture and fisheries industry overview. Well, let's move on. I think now it's not moving to the next slide. If someone can assist. Okay, could you put it in the full? Okay, it seems now it's, yeah, now it's working well. All right, thank you everybody once again. So to start off with the presentation, it's very convenient to see where is Ecuador located in the map, in the world map. As you can see, in the northern western side of South America, Ecuador is a small country crossed by the equator line, and that's why it's get its name. Its capital is Quito. The business language is English and Spanish for business purposes. Area is 283,500 square kilometers. The currency of Ecuador is US American dollar. Our population is 17.3 million people, and our GDP in 2022 was $115 billion. Pro-Ecuador is the Vice Ministry of Export and Investment Promotion, part of the Ministry of Production, Foreign Trade, Investment, and Fisheries of Ecuador, which is basically in charge of the promotion and executing the country's export and investment promotion policies around the world. It has a wide network of 25 international offices, strategically allocated in 22 countries, as for example, the Ecuador's commercial office in Turkey. All right. Once we have been, we have given a brief introduction where the country is located, some macroeconomic indicators. We can deep into the aquaculture sector. For instance, in 2023, Ecuador's aquaculture exports amounted to $7.2 billion, which represented 1.2 million tons for the sector. The main two products that form this sector are shrimp and tilapia fish. As you can see in the graphic, the right side graphic, the aquaculture exports within the last years passed from around $3.9 billion in 2019 to $7.2 billion in 2023. So it's easily to see how Ecuadorian exports in the mainly aquaculture sector has experienced let's say a very great growth. Our main product in this sector is shrimp, definitely. As you can see, some main facts about the product, about the main product that is part of this sector. It's essential to explain firstly that the main variety that is farmed in Ecuador is Banamey, which is white-leg shrimp known around the world. Ecuador Banamey supply, as mentioned previously, has grown exponentially, passing from around or roughly 40,000 tons in the 2000 to 1.2 million tons by 2023. Ecuador became the world's largest producer and exporter of farm shrimp in 2022, supplanting China and India. So nowadays, Ecuador is the world's largest supplier and exporter of this Banamey variety. From these exports, approximately 90% of Ecuadorian shrimp production is is focused on to export to be export to overseas, primarily to China, which is our main partner nowadays, which represent 59% of our exports in 2023, followed by Europe 18% and US 70%. Ecuador owns a unique farming conditions, which includes a very stable water temperature, between 24 to 30%, 30 degrees Celsius degrees, to all year around, which of course these are very convenient for farming shrimps. But also a very interesting fact is our low stocking density for shrimps, which is between 15 to 25 animals per square meters in Ecuador, compared to 25 and 30 per square meters average in Asia. So this factor is very important, very significantly in terms of reducing stress during shrimp farming, which is, of course, as a consequence, this minimize the occurrence of diseases and maintain a high survival rate for around 60 to 70%. Ecuadorian shrimps are pathogen resistant, which means basically that they are exposed to the disease and they develop the immunity naturally, making them more, let's say, robust or stronger related to other shrimps. Conversely, in other hand, Asian Baname are shrimps pathogen-free, which is meaning they are not exposed to pathogens in the same way, and that's why they're quite not resistible as Ecuadorian ones. Nowadays, shrimps represents Ecuador's main exportable product besides oil and crude oil exports. The Ecuador shrimp industry represents more than 260,000 jobs in the Ecuadorian economy, and shrimp production is located alongside the Ecuadorian coast, which is 670 kilometers length, more than 200,000 hectares of shrimp production in the country. Okay, there you go. Regarding some figures on shrimp exports, we can see in this graphic how in 2019 year, exports were like $3.8 billion, Ecuadorian shrimp exports to the world. As in 2023, we reached $7.2 billion, which represented 1.2 million tons of exports, shrimp exports. So as you can see very clearly, shrimps is the main product of the aquaculture sector for Ecuador. But what makes Ecuadorian shrimp so good or so high quality? I think the best and the shortest response or answer will be the sustainable environment where the shrimp is raised and farmed. And let me give you a very brief explanation on this matter. In the 1990s, white spot disease destroyed entire shrimp farms across Asia. In order to combat this disease, the shrimp industry began using and putting antibiotics into the water where the shrimps were farmed. Oppositely, instead, Ecuador acted differently, avoiding the use of antibiotics and in a sort of way creating the autoimmune capacity for Ecuadorian shrimps to resist this disease. Decades later, the resistance in Ecuadorian shrimp is natural. This is a result of, as mentioned, animals' own genetic capacity to resist and tolerate these diseases. So in these pictures, you can see some images about Ecuadorian shrimp farms, which are allocated right next to the Pacific coast. More pictures about the Ecuadorian shrimp farms. Yes. Okay. Let's speak about Ecuador's aquaculture business organization or association. The National Chamber of Aquaculture of Ecuador, in Spanish, Cámara Nacional de Acuacultura, is the main organization that gathers largest Ecuadorian shrimp producers and exporters. Basically, this is the main association that represents the group of companies in this sector. Talking about the second product, or the second main product of the Ecuadorian aquaculture sector, it's tilapia. By this graphic, we can see Ecuadorian's tilapia exports within the last years. So passing from almost $3 million in 2019 to $1.1 million in 2023. Our main destination for this product is the USA, the American market. Okay, once we have analyzed aquaculture sector, Ecuador's aquaculture sector, let's give a side on fishery sector. In 2023, Ecuador's fishery sector exports amounted $1.7 billion, which represented 394,000 tons. Main products that form part of this sector are tuna loins and canned tuna. Actually, Ecuador is the world's second largest exporter of canned tuna. We do also have other products as fish flour or fish meal, fish oil, fish fillets like hake, frozen fish, and fresh fish. At the right side in this graphic, we can see how fisheries sector exports has been behaving during the last years. You can see $1.5 billion until 2023, when we reach almost $1.7 billion of exports. About canned tuna and tuna loins sector. Ecuador's tuna industry is environmentally responsible and complies with 72 days annual ban imposed by the Inter-American Tropical Tuna Commission. However, this issue, thanks to our large storage capacity, we can process oil all year round. Ecuador has a production capacity of more or less 500,000 tons per year. Our main varieties are skipjack, yellowfin, and big eye. Ecuador as mentioned, is the second largest exporter of canned tuna in the world, and has the second largest tuna fleet in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. These pictures depicts how is the product presentation. As you can see, we have in can presentation, solid, in chunks and chopped versions, pouch as well, and solid and chunks, pre-cooked loins as well, and a wide variety of tuna and added value presentations with gourmet tuna, canned tuna with vegetables, meatballs in different sauces, tuna burgers, tuna salads, soups, nuggets, among others. About the certifications, Ecuadorian exports and basically Ecuadorian companies, they reach international certifications, as you can see in the pictures. And our main destinations are USA, Spain, Colombia, Italy, and United Kingdom. In this picture, you can see how in 2023 we reached $1.18 billion as for canned tuna exports, which amounted to 229,000 tons. This is a interesting and relevant growth, considering in 2019 we reached almost $1 billion of exports. So another product that we are exporting in the fisheries sector is mahi-mahi or dolphin fish fillets. In this picture and in this graphic, you can see how the behavior of these product exports have been within the last years. In 2019, we reached around $30 million of exports. And by 2023, there was a growth of $41 million, which represented 3,914 tons of mahi-mahi exports. Another fish product that Ecuadorian is exporting is a hake or merluccius. In this product, it's relevant to say it's a high quality and we can offer a competitive price for international markets. The advantage of Ecuador is, as mentioned, the sustainability of the species thanks to fishing regulation and local ordinances. Fishing authorization of this product, it's given for a limited number of vessels in the country. This slide shows up the production period of the product hake in Ecuador. As you can see, there are 2 months where the fishing activity is closed. And as for certifications, they are the main international certifications achieved by our country, our companies. And main export destinations were Russia, United States, Brazil, Belgium, and Dominican Republic. This graphic depicts the behavior of hake exports within the last years, reaching in 2023 $8.6 million, which were around 2,892 tons. And our main destinations were US, United States, Brazil, Russia, Puerto Rico, and Spain. Mackerel is the other product where our country is exporting to the world. As for mackerel exports, we can see in this graphic how we passed from almost $4 million of exports in 2019 and reaching to almost $20 million in 2023, which represented 70,532 tons of exports. Our main destinations were Cote d'Ivoire, Russia, Ghana, and Spain. Okay. Well, canned sardines, this is another product the Ecuadorian fisheries sector is positioning around the world. The convergence of two main marine currents, which is one, the cold Humboldt current and the warm El Nino current, basically creates a unique phenomenon in this part of the continent, in Ecuador's coast. So, giving as a result a very consistency in the product and a very colorful and flavor for Ecuadorian sardines. As for the period of production in canned sardines, fishing times, as depicted in the left side graphic, as you can see, 2 months are the closed season. Main certifications Ecuadorians canned sardine are achieving. Our variety is Pinchagua, and Ecuador is, of course, subject to this annual closure, as mentioned previously, 2 months in the year. As for the sardines presentation, canned sardine without tail and without head, the net weight of the product contains water and salt, vegetable oil, ketchup, sunflower oil, and olive oil. Our main export destinations are Colombia, Mexico, United States, Peru, and Dominican Republic. The graphic here shows up the Ecuadorian canned sardines export behavior. You can see in 2023, we reached $43.7 million of exports, which amounted to 19,335 tons. As you can see, we passed from 2019 from $34 million, which represented a growth during the five last years. Continuing with this sector, fish meal is another product we are exporting to the world. Essential to say that fish meal is one of the oldest industries in Ecuador. The beginning of this activity dates back to the 60s. The growth in the production of shrimp, tilapia, and other farm crops, they have sustain the local supply of fish meal. Our main destinations are China, Colombia, Germany, and Turkey. The 2023 reached almost $106.4 million, which represented 79,100 tons of fish meal exports. Fish oil. Ecuador do also export fish oil to the world. In this product, let's say that fish oil is widely used for feed additives, as everybody knows. You can see in the right side how the exports pass from almost $6 million in 2019 to almost $28.3 million in 2023, which represented 7,378 tons of fish oil exports. In terms of main and largest associations for fisheries sector, we can say the Ecuadorian Chamber of Tuna Industrialists and Processors, in Spanish, Cámara Ecuatoriana de Industriales y Procesadores Atuneros. It would be the main and the largest organization gathering main companies, as well as the Ecuador's National Fisheries Chamber, Cámara Nacional de Pesquería. Well, thank you very much for your attention. Hope you can enjoy and find useful this information. It was a brief overview about aquaculture and fisheries sectors in Ecuador. And for any question and any further inquiry, we'll be more than glad to attend these questions. You can easily contact us via email. We are based in Ankara at the Ecuador's embassy in Turkey, in Ankara. And thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions to Cristobal? Probably.
Okay. I would like just to add something. The main goal of our trade office in Turkey, besides promoting the sector, besides promoting the product we are willing to export to the world, into the Turkish market, the Middle East, Asia, is also that we, as a trade office, we work as a linker between Ecuadorian companies and potential buyers in this region. So we will be more than glad, and do not hesitate to contact us whenever you would like to be in contact with reliable suppliers of these mentioned products in order to evaluate business opportunities in the market. Thank you so much.